Hello, hello, hello. This is the Vanilla JS podcast. I'm Chris Ferdinandi. Thanks so much for joining me. Today, I'm going to be talking about focus styles. Now, if you're not familiar with focus styles, they are the outlines that show up around focusable elements, links, buttons, form inputs when they have focus, when your cursor is in or on those things. By default, they're blue. They get a little fuzzy depending on the operating system. And they're really important. They let people who navigate with a keyboard but who are not necessarily visually impaired know where on the page they are. It provides them with a visual indication since they're not moving around with a mouse. For me, this topic is really timely because I got an email today from someone who was trying to show me this really clever hack they had come up with to kind of like remove focus styles, but then put them back on in certain situations. And there was a little bit of a I don't navigate with a keyboard, so this doesn't really concern me, and I don't like the way they look. Was basically the gist of it. Seems to be a big thing with designers. They don't really like the aesthetic of focus styles, but they're really important for accessibility. If you remove them, then you break the web for a portion of people. So literally just don't do it. You can still make them look different. They just, they don't have to look like the out of the box, default browser experience, but don't remove them entirely. And so over the last few years, I've started to see a handful of articles and recommendations from people about how to use focus visible as a CSS attribute to show focus styles when someone is using a keyboard, but ignore them when a user interacts with a mouse. One of the best ones I've seen so far comes from Leah Veru, where she mentioned she's going to start blanket adding the following rule to all her style sheets, and it is : focus, not, parentheses, focus visible, and then brackets, outline none. And so what this does is it gets rid of, to use her words, the annoying outline for mouse users, but preserves it for keyboard users, and is ignored by browsers that don't support focus visible. The general sentiment here is always the same, that focus rings, those outlines around links and buttons and other focusable elements suck, and we only include them because keyboard users need them. I call bullshit. Focus styles are actually awesome. My friend Eric Bailey has a really great presentation on this that I'm going to link to in the show notes from a talk he gave at the Accessibility Toronto conference in 2018. It's called If It's Interactive, It Needs a Focus Style. He talks about why these things are so important and some things you can do to make them look less ugly. If your concern is visual aesthetic, they don't have to look like these fuzzy blue outlines. You can make them look really, really nice if you want to put the time into them. But I personally think one of the things here is if you're a mouse user, you don't need these things. And I also think that's a little kind of wrong. I enjoy them for the same reason I actually like visited styles on link-heavy pages. Even as a mouse user, knowing what currently has focus is useful because I sometimes also use my keyboard and often interchangeably with using a mouse. I may be an edge case here, but do you know that every single one of your users navigates how they navigate your sites and apps? We keep making the same mistake, assuming that we know how our users want to use what we build or that they're just like us over and over again. Also, focus styles don't have to be ugly. I think the defaults are great, but you can do all sorts of creative things to make them look nice or different. Let's not say nicer, because I think they look nice the way they are, but you can make them look different if you want. My point here is just include focus styles on your site for everything that's focusable for everyone. Don't make this a thing. Just include focus styles. So that's it for today. If you want to finally master JavaScript, head over to vanillajsguides.com and check out my pocket guides and video courses. They're short, focused, and made for beginners. You'll learn the ins and outs of a topic in under an hour. See you next time. Cheers.